Good morning. Good morning. I just turned 555, so it's good changes. So let me note this today. I feel a lot better, like a lot better, and I'm so grateful to feel better. Okay, but I have a reading to do. It's a spiritual reading. Some of you may not know this person, but he comes to me a lot. Like I was doing a reading for his friend, and that's how I met him. He is gang facilitated from California. He is, uh, let me make sure I say this right. Uh, red bloods, like for the red bloods, for the red. Anyway, he was like 22. He was a young gang member. The thing about his name is Frankie Partin. He was killed, okay? Let me get to this because he wants people to know why he was killed and what they done. I was doing a reading for a young lady that was good friends with Frankie, and he kept coming through these readings. He saw more in life that he wanted to do. He wanted to do clothes. He wanted to like create his own clothes line. He knew he could do more than this gang situation. Well, what happened is what he showed me. When he killed, he showed me different surroundings. So that means he was in a different place. He showed me Baltimore. Okay, like they flew him out to Baltimore. But this is what it gets at. He met this young lady, and he saw that she was going to college. She was making something of herself, and he felt like somebody with her. He really did. He felt like he could be somebody else, be the person he wanted to be. But he also told me I felt no matter how much I gave her, I felt like I wasn't good enough for her. And that's what he tells me. And that kind of hurts him a little bit. Like, uh, why would you keep leading me on? Because he said that she hurt me. She went with this other guy that was not good for her, and she chose over him over Frankie. He said he got back to the leaders that I wanted to take a way out of this gang situation. I wanted out because I knew I could do better. I was too young to be in this, and I finally come to my senses that I knew what I could do. Well, they sent word they had a meeting with Frankie. Blood in, blood out. You'll not come out of this. So that kind of freaked him out. But there was one higher up told him, you know what, Frankie, I may just let you out. I may just let you out. Do this last run for me. I'm sending you to Baltimore to do a drug. I want to call it a switch off a trade where you sell these drugs, you bring me the money, and then we'll talk about letting you go. So Frankie was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. They sent another man with him. This man was older. What gets me was this female. There's a female always involved. She was sleeping with Frankie, but she was sleeping with one of these main drug, I want to call him a drug lord. She planned on, it's almost like I set you up. I see you like this other female, and you're not going to do me this way. Because if you do me this way, I'll make sure you're taken care of. I'll make sure of it. She did. So he went to Baltimore with this other man. Now, see this man in my third eye. He is like 35 years old. He's bald. He shows me this, I want to say, it looks like this our container where the planes will go in. A warehouse. A warehouse. The trade-off was done. Things was set. Frankie shows me him turning his back and walking away. As he turns his back to walk away, they shoot him in the back of the head. They shoot him in the back of the head. They shoot the other man in the back of the head. Both of them are dead. He said, I was taken advantage of. I was lied to. He said, I should have known blood in, blood out. I wouldn't get out of this alive. I knew I wouldn't. Why did I think I was? He said, so this is what I want to say. The Buds in California and Baltimore do sex trafficking. They do children. He said, I need people to know that they are over this. They do this. They take these women. They do sex trafficking. They even trade for children. They get paid big money, They get paid big money for this. Now, I don't know why he's on me this morning to tell this, but he wants his story told. He says it's been over a year. It's time for it to be told. A lot of people get so caught up in their day-to-day life that they don't see what's going on around them. These gangs are not worth it. It's always will be blood in and blood out. You'll never come out of it without harm. You won't just leave a gang. Period. And I just saw a lot light up. I tell you all, there's spirits coming in here like crazy. So Frankie wants this to be said. He feels like his life was taken because he wanted better for his own life. He knew what he could do. There was a female that gave him courage, gave him hope. He looked up to her like, look what she's doing. I can do this. He said, but she made me feel belittled. Even though we hung out, we chilled out, I wasn't good enough for her. He said, so I wanted to be good enough. You see what I'm saying? Like, he knew things that he could do. And he didn't want the gang life. But they wasn't going to let him out. And anybody will tell you, he's telling me, they'll tell you, it's blood in, blood out, you'll never get out alive. He said, I was 22 years old. And my life was taken. I didn't know my surroundings when this happened. I see him laying on the ground in, I want to say a warehouse. They met up there. They was flown there. They knew they was going to kill him there. They done knew. The female that he'd been sleeping with, that had a little fire with, was part of this. Now, she made sure it was set up. She wanted him dead. She was jealous of this other female, and it was not going to happen. The guy that shot him was her main male. And he was one of these high enforcers. But he also was told what to do. You know what I mean? He was up there, but he was told what to do. Frankie is such a sweet soul. You all. Such a sweet soul. He's a black male. He had nice dreads, long dreads. He loved women with long hair. That was his thing. With the booty, he's telling me that's what I liked. I don't know why he's saying that. He said, but I want people to know that these gang members done sex trafficking. They took these children and they sold these children. They also was involved in organ, taking organs and selling them. He said, there's more, so much more than anybody would ever imagine that these, hold on, how he's talking. I'm sorry. So much more than what these gang members do, especially the Bloods, he says, that what he was in and knows. He said, it's amazing. He said, and they will teach you. And to teach you, it's like almost he says, a whooping. You do it, you'll go kill somebody to move up, to show your worth, to show your loyalty. He said, it wasn't for me. I did it as a young kid because of family. He had 3 brothers. His mother and father had already passed away. So that's kind of why he joined this. It was because family. Even though he had 3 brothers, it was like missing something in his life that they fulfilled. I'm getting a message like at 6:30. I have no idea who this is. Let me see. Oh, that ain't gonna show me. Sorry, guys. Uh, he's been on me for a little while, and then this morning he's like, "Okay, let's do this. Let's put this out. Let's put this out here where everybody knows that the Bloods in California are one of the main people that sex trafficking, drug trafficking, a lot of drug trafficking. They really do the drug trafficking. He said cocaine is one of their main. Heroin is one of their main. He said, what I had to go do is cocaine. I'm seeing heroin in a large package of marijuana. He said, even though marijuana is legal, we brought it in from over Mexico. He said we was involved with the Mexican trade. They done him dirty. They shot him in the back. Yeah, they shot him right here in the back of the neck as he turned. Even the male that was with him. These 2 males that Frankie and this other one was not best friends. They was in the same gang. They was both killed. He said, I want people to know that where all this drug trafficking's coming from, where all this sex trafficking coming from, these children, trading children, comes from them. And he says, I can say this now. I'm not here. I'm not part of that. I was killed for that because I wanted out. He said, y'all got to understand it's always going to be blood in and blood out. You'll never walk away from an organization, a cult, right? A cult, a gang, which is a cult, without death. You just won't. He said, I'm proof of that. He died at 22 years old. And he shows me, like he comes in all the time when I read. I'll say her first name that she uses, not really her name. Nah. He always steps in like he loves this girl. He wants to protect this girl. He wants to teach her. He wants her to grow. He's always with her. This is the one he felt he was not good enough for. And when they hung out, they would talk about spiritual things. He was very spiritual, and he also wanted to talk about building his clothes, building his brand, what he can do. That's why he really thought the world of her. Because she was going to college, she was doing something, which made him feel like he could do it. I feel for Frankie. And he has met up with Nipsey. He showed me Nipsey's because of the California Association, Game Association, as teaching. So it's like that he's teaching him. He wanted me to put this out that the Bloods in California are behind the drug trade there, behind drugs, behind addictions, behind these, I want to say it right, by the sex trafficking. They would get women and they would sex traffic these women, high up people, like they would. Children, it sex, they had to have sex with younger men. He said, what I done, he said, I'm ashamed of. I'm ashamed of what I done. He said, but I can't take it back, and I'm not going to sit and judge myself over it. And he's asking y'all, please don't judge him for what he done. He was trying to get out of it. He asked, can I please get out of this to do this? Yeah, Frank, yeah. No, their minds, no, bloody and blood out. I'll send you to Baltimore and you're going to be killed there. So that is where he passed away. He wants you all to know that it's not like what you think it is. It's not. And he says there's so much more to come. He said the devil himself lives in these gangs. He wants to tell Nye this. I know I wasn't good enough for you then. He said, but I was trying to be the man that I knew you deserved. I didn't get a chance to be that person for you. I didn't get to be the chance to be who I wanted to be. He said, this was not who I was supposed to be. And he said, my bad, my mistake. I went to the gang looking for family, looking for stability. He said, my bad. That's how he says that, my bad. It was my mistake. He said, I saw stuff at 22 years old that no 22-year-old, no young man should have seen. So, when you go and look at these gangs, it is bloody and blood out. It will always be that way, he said. There'll be nothing ever change. He wants you all to know him. His name, he said, is Frankie Partin. And when you think of the gangs, think of him, of how it was bloody and blood out. And he said a lot of us has got killed because we wanted to stand up for what we believed. And if we stood up for what we believed and they found out about it, we was gone. He said, I'm gone. I'm on the other side. He said, but I help. Now I grow and I help these other gang members that want out. I make a way. I teach them. I help these women that are in this trafficking because they make them do it. They make them have sex. They make them to give them the money. It's like you're going to have sex with this person, and you're going to look good. This is what you're going to put on. He said they told these women what to wear, how to dress, and they had to do it. If they didn't do it, they knew what was to come. They was dead as well. There's a lot of women he's showing me in the gutters, in the rivers, in the bays. I'm seeing the where you put garbage dumpsters that they would just throw these women in. And if somebody paid for them that night, I'm just saying things didn't work out for the man. It was okay for the man to kill these women. And there's a lot of them that's dead that's missing, that their families are looking for them that are dead. They don't know yet. He said, I need this to be spoken. These women you're looking for, these lost loved ones you're looking for, aren't passed away. They have been put somewhere. I see a lot in the bay rivers. I see a lot in the dumpsters, side of the roads, in places that he said, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of what I done. He said, I've grown on the other side. I've learned what I shouldn't be doing now. He wants, I know y'all don't know who I'm talking about, but you'll know him. You will know him, he says, because he wants you all to think of him, Frankie Partin. Nice young man. Nice young man. Look at man. He comes in every time in my space and sits down. He smiles at me. He's like, you ready? He's so sweet. You ready? So this morning he was ready for his truth to be spoken. I've been waiting a year to do Frankie. And I always told him, when you're ready, I'll be ready. This morning he kept coming to me like, I'm ready. You ready? I'm ready. He wants y'all to know too, there's going to be a lot more readings coming from him that you all need to know about. He's showing me King Vaughn. That was a setup. That was a setup. That was the setup from the gang. And that was like written down. This was to happen. Okay? It wasn't an accident. This was meant to happen. He's telling you, see how they do it. Blood in, blood out. They don't like something you're doing. Boom, you're gone. He said, be careful. This is the last days, because this mother guy settles the last days of the third dimension, the last days that the devil's plan will go into fruition. And it's happening now, he says. Pay attention, he says. See through these illusions that they're putting in front of your face. He said, people you think that's not a gang member is a gang member. And they will shoot you. They won't shoot you to your face. He said, like they done me. They waited, I shook their hands. He said, I shook their hands. I turned and walked to go back to my room. And I got shot in the back of the head, back of the neck. He said, I remember coming out of my body. He said, I come out of the back way, the back. He said, I come out of the back. He said, I looked around and I just remember seeing and looking and saying, what happened? And he tried to walk away and he realizes, oh, wait a minute. Why are they laughing? Why are they rejoicing? Why are they calling my boss man? He called him the boss man. Why are they calling my boss man? They're saying I'm dead. Am I dead? And he looks down. He sees his body. He sees his partner, his associate. And he's like, they killed me. They took my life from me. He's making me feel it's not a surprise. He had a feeling. But he's hoping he was wrong. But he had a feeling. He had a feeling because he done talked. Somebody leaked it. He wanted out of the gang. And once they leaked it, That was that. They knew he wanted out. They was afraid he would start stepping out. They was afraid he would start telling the truth. So what do? Bam. The back of the head gone. He's saying, I won't get my justice the way I want my justice. I will never get that. He said, but they can't hold my tongue now. He said, everybody deserves to know what they do. Sex trafficking, trafficking children, trafficking drugs. These women are getting killed. People are getting killed left and right. They need to know this. And he says, I will be the one to speak it up. He said, I was a young man that was caught up by selling drugs, thinking that was the only way I could make a living, the only way I could, succeed. He said, but then I met Nye and I realized I could have more. I didn't need this to have this. So I ain't sleep. He wanted me to put this up this morning. He wants this reading out. We will be doing more of it. Listen, they are some sick son of a bitches, and I'll say that. He is showing me that they watch men, and they have these young men sleep. That's their initiation, sleeping with other young men. That shows that's a sexual demonology. I can't say it the way Frankie's saying it. It's like I am getting initial in the game. You know what I'm talking about, getting put in the game. But this is what I got to do to get there. Sleeping, and they have certain young men that they use for this. They do have sex parties. They are involved with more higher up people than you think they are, he says. And he's telling me the government, let's say the mayor, the police officers, do use gang members to take care of what they don't want to put their hands in. He said, so it's all true what you hear and what you feel that they do. Yes, say the mayor or the governor just wants somebody gone, right? And they don't want their hands in it, they will use the gang to do so. And especially the bloods. Women, he's telling me higher ups. And he said, y'all know who I'm talking about when I'm saying higher ups. Do this sex trafficking. They use us as the middleman. We go get the women, we make these women do these things, but they're involved. I'm seeing government. I'm seeing a mayor. I don't know if a mayor in one city, California, is doing this, but that's what he's showing me. Police officers are involved in this as well in California. He's not giving me the name in California. It's in California. He's from California, but he got killed in Baltimore. He had to fly there. There was a drug trade happening. This female, I want to say this again, this female had a real bad crush on Frankie. But her main man was one of the, he wasn't high up, but he was a higher up than Frankie, right? That was her boyfriend. So what she done, she went to him and was talking about Frankie. Well, he needs to be killed. He wants out anyway. Why are you all letting him stay? Like, you all going to get food by him. That's what brought a lot of this on, was jealousy of a woman. She was jealous of Nahi. She knew how he felt about her and how he looked up to her, because he did. He looked up to her. He loved chilling with her. He said, we talked about spiritual things. We talked about what we wanted in the future. And he said we have a commonality where we was having things in common. He regrets a lot of things. He says, but I can't change it. If I could, I would. I wouldn't even went that time. They asked me would I go to Baltimore to do this last run, and they would let me loose. He said, I should have known that was a lie. That was a lie. So he did it. He said, and why they killed, I can't think of his name. Kevin. His name's Kevin. He's older. He has bottom hair. He's taller. He was killed. Okay. They felt that he was narking. They felt he was talking to people he shouldn't be talking to. Now, this is the taller one that was with Frankie. They both got killed, right? They both got shot in the head. He was bowed. I see him bowed, and he had a windbreaker on. They thought he was narking, saying things he shouldn't have been saying, but he wasn't. Frankie's like, he wasn't really saying nothing he shouldn't be saying. So they killed, the both of them was killed that day. Now, the detectives keep saying they're looking into this, is what I'm feeling, and Frankie keeps telling me they're not going to do this. They don't care. I'm another young black male killed. That's all to them. And he's saying that the Floyd case where George Floyd got killed, he showed me that white police officer got charged for the murder. He's saying finally justice has arose for us. He said, but for me, I'll not get my justice. He says, I still walk this earth, and I will until I get my justice. He said, I will help the gang members, I will help these women to free themselves from the Bloods. And he's calling it the Bloods. He's showing me the red bandana. So it's the Bloods. He said, now, at this day and time, is the time to where I now speak the truth. That these people are involved with sex trading, gun trading, drug trading, children trading. He goes to his head, he said they're sick. He said it's sick. They have parties. They have sex parties. They have parties where they have these children, and people choose the children they want. And they pay them for these children. Now, that's what he's showing me. He said he's saying we because he said I was in that. He said, but I personally wasn't involved with the killing of women, the killing of taking out organs. I didn't have no part in that. I had to rob people. And he said, yes, I have killed someone before, but it wasn't over that. They kill these people. They're young women too. I've seen a lot of women and a lot of male homosexuals as well coming in. These homosexuals are used for the sex to initiate the male gang members in. And he's saying like they're killed for their organs. He said, because what people don't understand, that's money. That's big money for it. He said kidney. Kidney is $100,000. A heart. He said they done it. He's showing me a young black male that people know that was involved in being killed for organs. I see he's wrapped up. He went to school. I feel like I know him. He has dreads. He was found dead in the school. His organs was taken. He said the gang was involved in that killing. They had young men guys, boys that went to school there that was already started in the gang, and that was what they had to do. You're going to do this to show proof you want in this gang. This what was his name? Jenkins. He said Jenkins. That's why he was killed. He was wrapped up in these mats. That was their. They put these two boys on Jenkins for his organs. You do this, you'll be initiated in, and they done it. As you all know, they done it. So that's what happened to him. So if anybody wants to know, it's gang related. They took his organs for money. It's all about that money. A lot of money. A lot of money. And he says it goes through different sources. He said this gang member just ain't gang members. It goes up from higher sources to the Illuminati, to the government, to the like mayors, to the city councilmen. People know, he says. He says it ain't just we're gang members. There's a lot of people that knows about this. A lot. That's why he was killed. He knew and he wanted out. He says, always remember once you enter the gang community, you will never come out alive. Ever. It will always be blood in, blood out. It's almost like they get your soul. And once they have that, you do as I say. You make sure you do as I say, because if you don't do as I say, you have a bullet in you. And that's how firm they are, like. So that's what I got this morning. It's Frankie Partin, the Bloods, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, trading children. I see trading of children. There's so much more, he says, that's involved in this gang situation. People that you wouldn't think it would be involved is involved. Higher ups, official government officials. Thank you, Frankie. He's telling me in my ear government officials are involved. They make sure we do their dirty work. He wants you all to know that. They do the government officials' dirty work. He said, and I'm speaking the truth because I won't get my justice. I was killed in Baltimore with my back turned. They didn't have enough nerve to do it to my face. They took my life at 22. He says, so now I will speak my truth. I will tell everything I know about the Bloods where I come from. It's towards San Francisco, but not in San Francisco. Like I feel like it's a couple hours away from San Francisco. I know that don't say much, but I always show me it's California. Okay, it was an hour away from where Nipsey was from. And remember, he's from Crenshaw. Am I saying that right? Wherever I know I can hear it in my mind, but saying it's another thing. He was an hour from him. And he knew who Nipsey was by his music. He knew him through the gang, right? But he was a lot younger than Nipsey, so he didn't really meet him through the gang. He knew that he was a gang member. He knew that he done music, and he was coming out of the gang. So he thought he would have a good chance. He said, I took this, I want to say it right, this commitment. Well, I was real young. I see him 16, even younger, 14, 16 years old. He said, and it was really for community, for family to have somebody. He said, but boy, was I food. I was food. He said, my death will not go in vain because I will tell everything I know, where they get these drugs, where they get these women. I will speak the truth. And he's trying to help these women. He's trying to get them out, get the children out. He said, I've not been fully successful, but I have saved some. So he wants you all to know. You always don't trust the government officials. You do not, because they're involved. They have the gang to do their dirty work. Know that. Know that, know that, know that. Frankie is a good soul. I really love his energy. He really speaks the truth. He loves to laugh. He loves to have a good time. So I feel for him. He really wanted out to start his clothing business, and that's what he wanted to do. That was his heart. They weren't going to give him a way out. They just wouldn't. They wanted a percentage of anything you get, trust me. They weren't just going to give him a way out and say, okay, here you go. No. When they found out he wanted out, they said, okay, blood out. He brought blood in, we're bringing blood out. Take care of him. They made calls. When Frankie Partin gets down there to Baltimore after the drug trade, you take care of him. You take care of both of them, matter of fact. They both need to go. And I feel like his name is Kevin. They took care of him as well. He knew too much, and they wouldn't gonna let him survive it and be a witness. No, he had to go. So it's my neck is sore. He's telling me all I want to do is help now. All I want to do is help now. All I want to do is help. I didn't mean to do the things I've done. I did not expect this to happen the way it happened. He's making this clear, making it clear, very clear. If I had a chance to do things over again, I would. I would do things over again.